We are all neighbors. Death. Every summer, Lori and Frank pick the tomatoes from the vines in the garden. Then during autumn, the plants in the garden die. Lori puts the dead plants on the compost pile. Leaves on some of the trees turn yellow, red, and brown and fall to the ground and die. Frank and Lori rake them into a big pile. Plants that are indoors also live for a while and then drop their petals and die. Every now and then, Lori puts some beautiful roses into a vase with water. Roses are beautiful flowers that have a lovely fragrance. After they've been in a vase for many days, their petals start to fall and their stems wither. This is all a part of nature. Plants grow from seeds and they give us shade or beautiful flowers or food to eat, and then one day they begin to die away. This is how the world works. It's called the cycle of life. When a sunflower first shows its colors, it begins to open its petals. Soon the sunflower is wide open. All the bright yellow petals are as full as they can be. And then one day the sunflower hangs its head. The yellow petals are all dried and brown. The sunflower has died. The dried sunflower loses its petals. Then the green outer parts fall off, and we notice that the head of the sunflower is filled with dried sunflower seeds. The birds will love to eat these seeds. We can eat sunflower seeds too. The same thing happens with echinacea flowers. They bloom with bright pink and orange colors all summer. Then when their time is over, the petals turn brown and dry up. The flowers die back and fall to the ground. This is all a part of nature. It's called the cycle of life. Animals are part of the cycle of life too. Each animal has a time to live and a time to die. Sometimes an animal dies because it is old. Sometimes an animal dies because it has been hurt badly. Sometimes it dies because of an accident. Some animals are our pets. People are sad when pets die. Sometimes the people say a prayer or hug their family a lot. People might cry a lot because they are so sad. It can be especially sad if a person you know dies. Dying is a part of nature, even for people. Most people live healthy lives for a long time. When their life is finished, it is called death. Death is not a punishment. It is part of the cycle of life. It can be a very sad time when someone dies. We can hug one another and tell each other stories that remind us of the person who has died. It is all right to laugh when you remember a funny story about the person. However you feel is just fine. When someone dies, a part of the person keeps living. It's the part that is called the spirit of the person. Some people call it the person's soul. Ask your family what they believe happens when a person dies. When a person dies, people who love the person remember the good times they had together. They laugh and tell good stories about the person. They might attend a butterfly ceremony. Each person gently holds a special card that has a real butterfly inside. After a prayer, everyone opens the cards and all the butterflies fly out. Some land on people's shoulders. Some might fly into a nearby tree. Butterfly ceremonies help people to understand their sadness. Another thing people might do to help with their sadness is to wear a piece of the person's clothing. This girl feels better when she wears her grandma's scarf. Some people go for long walks to think about the person they loved so much. Some people talk about their sadness with a good friend. These are all good ways to help yourself when you feel sad. Sometimes people gather together after someone dies. They pray and talk about the person's life. They may sing too. This is called a funeral or a memorial service. A beautiful marble stone may be used to remember a person who has died. It can be a sad time when an animal or a person dies. There are things we can do when we're sad. All of it is part of nature. It is the cycle of life. A little seedling is planted, and then with sun and rain, it grows. The plant may give us something to eat, like tomatoes. At the end of its season, some parts of the plant dry up and some wither away. Let's review. Death is not easy to understand, but it is a part of nature. When something or someone dies, you may feel sad or angry. When you are sad, it is good to be with people who love you. At the end of each class, we read a promise together. Our promise: I love my neighbor, and everyone is my neighbor. I know that God loves everyone, no exceptions. I am a caretaker of the earth and a loyal friend. I will treat every person as they wish to be treated. I'll see you in the next class. Smiles, hugs, and lots of love from me, Guyoma.